There we go. The thing went black for a second. I'm like, what's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James underscore 36. And this is Big Games BS, brought to you by Den Media Group, presented by thehumidor.com. Thehumidor.com is the go-to website for all things tobacco related. It's just a good old, just a great website to go to if you like smoking cigars. Apparently, a lot of people like smoking cigars because y'all cleared my whole goddamn tailgate out. I want to say this. There was about 150 cigars, and it was free. It was literally included in the price. So I am grateful that you took them. But we didn't even have 150 people at the tailgate this go round. And I know we didn't have that many people smoking. So I want you to enjoy them. Yeah, but it's like the cigars and the liquor table which was also presented by ABC Fine Wine and Spirit with a Game Day Vodka. Make sure you go get your Game Day Vodka from ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. But it's like when the family puts the Halloween candy on the front porch, like technically one kid could come take the bucket and pour it all in their bag, and they would be within their rights. But, take a couple pieces, man, and then keep it moving. Leave some for the rest of the kids. I mean, as much as some of y'all complain about my tailgates, there was good fucking cigars, man. Shout out to the Oliva family who are Florida State grads, a lot of them and stuff and whatnot. But damn, dog, y'all just. But when I tell you they cleaned me out, dog. I came back and I'm like, how the fuck are all my cigars gone? I kind of wanted one for myself because when you bring that many cigars, you're like, oh, there's no way we're gonna run out of cigars, right? So I wasn't feeling good, so I ended up leaving the game, and I'll give a breakdown of the game here, and I'll talk about the weekend. And hopefully, your guys' weekends were good, and you came out unscathed, and your favorite teams won. And there was no lack of good college football or even NFL games on. Even though some would argue that the play of the NFL right now is kind of a little bit down, but I actually like it. Learned something new this weekend about my son. Apparently, my son's playing fantasy football. Terrible dad. I pick on you guys all the time about not knowing what the fuck is going on in your kid's life. My son's a whole gambler right now, beating the shit out of people with fantasy football. I think he was like up 125-96 over the person that he was competing with, and he was breaking down the games. But he won the University Christian Fighting Christians. That's his actual name. Like on his whoever he's playing fantasy with, but they won their game, and basically this whole weekend was like Groundhog Day for me. I was watching the same exact game over and over again from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, somebody opened up the back door. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it's difficult to really get that upset over and over again. So when I tell you my Mandarin Mustangs played a similar game to my Florida State Seminoles, played a similar game to the Jacksonville Jaguars, it's kind of like you get a swift kick to the nuts over and over again. So I don't know if you got the first clips, but I do want to talk about one of these young men that I got a chance to see. That's a Florida State commit. Yeah, this kid right here, Sam Singleton. Big plays. I talked about a kid who Florida State won. I'm getting to play against a bunch of really, really good ball players. So Sam Singleton is a kid who plays for Fleming Island High School. And I'm gonna be honest with you. We've played Fleming Island, and this was the third time I've never seen him play. And yeah, I'm cool with him being at Florida State. Now, there's a blatant hold on this play, but disregard that. Just watch the guy. The kid is he's skedaddling. He's scooting. I'm actually going to go watch his film for playing us because we actually have a pretty decent defense. And he just ran over, through, and around our defense. Like if we could have stopped him, we could have won. We still should have won, but it was but again, yeah, he did his thing. So go ahead and push play on that. This is like a 70-yard touchdown run. Actually, he did this twice. He did the first play of the game. He broke a long run, but he got tackled. He got ran down by our boy. Actually, AJ almost ran him down this time. John ran him down last time. We got two D1 corners, but Sam just skated 70 yards to the house on us with that. And when I saw that, I was like, yeah, all right, I'm cool with him being there. 215 pounds, big kid, very explosive. My Mandarin Mustangs lost 35 to 28. They scored on like a big throw. Was it a push in the back? Possibly, but the young man scored a touchdown and they beat us. Now we scored 400. We gained 471 yards of total offense, and we lost. Um, and people were kind of like, well, how does that remind you of the Florida State game? Well, we had a bad spell where we just couldn't move the ball. Our quarterback turned the ball over. Probably shouldn't have made the throw. Still really, really good. Our quarterback is actually young. He's a sophomore. But, those mistakes kind of get made. So now moving on to, like I said, that young man, Sam Singleton, though, was the biggest reason why we lost. But Saturday started off dope, though. Well, no, it did. No, it didn't. I had a flat tire, so I had to get a flat tire. I had to go get my tires changed on Saturday morning. Then my car wouldn't crank up, so I had to get a jump, which now it runs for pretty good. But we had the tailgate, and you know what the tailgate means. We always got good vibes. Shout out to allstarqb.com. Go to allstarqb.com, type in big game. You get 10% discount on it. Why are we continuing to play cornhole at football tailgates when we're all there for football? And you see the ladies right there. They're getting in there. They're on target. They're playing with balls, throwing them through there. Oh, we haven't got it up there. All right, now we got it up there yet. Boom. Money. Okay, that one was a little off, but you see them, they get after it, man. So like that's a cool little thing. I would tell you who it supports, but I'm not sure if it's a violation or not. This is it's just an overall good product. Go scoop it up, put it at your next tailgate. Matter of fact, if you're dope enough, we may end up doing an All-Star QB giveaway for you guys. You get two balls, two pegs. Again, play it similar to cornhole. Make that thing happen. But the tailgate was a success, though. We got enough tickets right now. We're about halfway through the amount of tickets that we want to get for the Georgia Tech game. So we still got 50 tickets. We're trying to raise at about $30 a pop. So if you want to send a kid to Georgia Tech, this is the way to do it. Send it to the Cash App or support the tailgates. Next one we haven't know is Thanksgiving, but we'll have the information on how to promote how to get a kid to the Georgia Tech game next weekend on the social media. So make sure you check that out. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And if you have tickets that you want to donate, please let us know. We'll make sure a kid gets put in the right place. But so it started off really, really good. Florida State was punching cats in the mouth, man. Drove down first drive. And then they did one of my favorite things to possibly do, man. Like, this is like what the game – I think the game is missing physicality, right? And trust me, everybody and their mama let me know that I was on TV. I appreciate y'all checking me out. I was right behind Alex Atkins, our offensive coordinator, and, hanging out with guys like Snoop Menace. And we were in a situation. People were asking me, like, hey, man, why you wasn't smiling, man? What was you thinking about? And I was like, man, I was really just watching the Jumbotron. Like, that's really, really all I was doing, because when we were going toward the end zone I was standing at. So like, you really don't get a lot of like a good view with a whole bunch of large bodies in front of you. So I had to stand there and look at the Jumbotron, and then from there I did make a suggestion. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I said, we're really, really close. We're on the 1 yard line. How about you try giving the ball to the goddamn fullback? And we did give the ball to the goddamn fullback. Actually, Miles, you got should have the video. I got that good up close video that you could. And if you actually play the sound, I kind of sound a little excited. I'm not sure if anybody's aware or not, but I don't think I cursed. But DJ Lundy's got 2 touchdowns. He's far from catching my catching what I did during the regular season. So I'm all for it. Keep letting them score touchdowns. I support the fullback. So let's watch this video here, and then you can hear my commentary. It's better than anything on ESPN. Bar none's better, but whatever. I'm a brag on myself.
All right, you can truck me, baby. If they score here, I might run out. If they run my favorite play, oh, come on, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Yo! Toss it up!
Hey.
All right, you can truck me, baby. If they score here, I might run out.
Man, listen, man, it was awesome. Gave the ball to the goddamn fullback. Good things happened, and then it kind of went downhill from there. FSU is having this, and this is where I always tell people, like, you have to event. People talk about words about culture, right? Use these buzz terms: culture. The culture's changed. Returning to culture. I hate the word culture because culture is just culture. The way they use it doesn't make sense 90% of the time. I mean, let me go back to it, and here's why. Words have meaning, right? And we're going to go with culture, the definition of culture. Culture is the arts and other manifestation of human intellectual achievement regarded collectively. The customs, the arts, social institutions, and achievements of a particular nation, people, or other social group. So what have we seen? What customs have you seen change? What institutions are basically things that have come about Florida State right now in the way they've played? What achievements has this particular group accomplished? You really can't go through and give anything tangible to explain what it is besides your eyes, which you say it looks better. And it does, but there's still something that hasn't been achieved yet, a consistent level of winning. And what we've seen the last 3 weeks is Florida State play a much better, play more competitive. But one of my favorite rappers, probably the first rap billionaire, if I remember correctly, but Sean Corey Combs. Sean Corey Combs. Oh, no, sorry. Sean Corey Carter states that moral victories are for minor league coaches. You have to realize that at a certain point, you cannot consistently beat yourself. And that's really where people are disgusted. And I want to say people stop fan policing. What you're not realizing is that for a while, fans were just like, woe is me. Oh my God, we suck again. No, people are coming in with the expectation that you should win. And if you watch this game, and even worse, if you go back and you look at the overall product of the last 3 weeks, it makes you even more upset about the current situation. But you can become hopeful if it turns the corner over these next few games, because you're playing a down Miami team that's not above 500. You're playing a down Florida team that just lost to the LSU team that you beat. You're playing a Syracuse team that's trending in the right direction, that's doing very well. You've got Louisiana Lafayette, and you got Georgia Tech, who is right now Sans coach. That means they're coachless. And we already know what's going to happen to them at the end of the season. You've got 5 games in which you could effectively win, but we also know that if you continue to play and you make some of the mistakes that you've been making, at times you will lose. The problem is when you look at it from beginning to the end, it's actually not a bad product. It's where you have some times or some spaces or some gaps where you absolutely kill yourself. Absolutely kill yourselves. You have the third quarter against North Carolina State where you had penalty after penalty. You had a fake punt. You had some situations that are just overall head scratchers. Yeah, man, I'm sorry about that, dog. I was, yeah, sorry about that too, dog. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm still feeling the after effects of an edible that I ate on Sunday, so I'm kind of coming back into that. Edible, I'm just going to smoke weed from now on. I'm no longer ingesting it. Ingesting weed is not a very, I I have no control over the outcomes. Kind of like the games, like being a fan of the Florida State game, except for it's real life. I have no control over the outcomes. Like I have no idea when it's going to hit me. I have no idea when it's coming down. It's actually quite terrifying for guys like me who are pseudo. I don't want to say I'm a control freak because I'm not, but I do like things. I do like having control over my body and what's happening. But yeah, but when you really step back, hold on, step back and look. I'm still sharing this stuff, man. I need anybody wants to become an intern. I just need y'all to share this in all the Seminole groups. Anyways, but
they can do that from home.
Yeah, you can do that from home. You don't even got to like. We'll give you something, some swag. But when you look at it, the last 3 weeks we played 3 ranked teams, 3 high ranked teams. You've had FSU has outgained them in the yards per play each one. It's like it makes absolutely no sense that you lost this game.
That's a crazy stat.
It means you're performing well enough to get beat. But when I really went back and I looked at the box score, FSU had 28 first downs. 28 first downs. Clemson only had 18. Clemson had 370 yards of total offense. Florida State had 460. Their quarterback was more accurate than yours, but he only had 203 yards passing. He was 15 for 23. They only had 167 yards rushing. Now, on 44 attempts, which is why they dominate, why they control time of possession. Florida State had 206 yards rushing. Averaging 6.1 yards per rush. What's wild is Florida State had 3 penalties this game, as opposed to over 10 the last 2 on average. Clemson had 8 penalties. Florida State, and here's what kills you. You have to win top. You have to win turnovers. If Florida State had 1 costly turnover, a few fourth downs. Hold on, let me see. You went for it on 4th down 4 times. You only converted once, which again also hurts you in typically when you're trying to flip the field and make a struggling team have to drive. That's kind of where you want to point. You want to be able to put people in situations where it takes them to drive. But I remember 1 4th down in particular not having situational awareness. You threw it to number 14, but you had the running back wide the fuck open, Orange Toafili, and you only needed 2 yards. I talk to running backs. I talk to people all the time about understand the situation that you're in. Try to live the fight another day, unless you truly know you can score, which is part of the frustration that people had with the loss against North Carolina State. It's not the play call per se. Yes, it is the decision making, but who put the person in the position to make the decision? Like it should have been, hey, we want to throw to Johnny Wilson, but we need the first down. So if you got Toafili, throw it or use your legs. I made a tweet when Jordan Travis pulled out early in the game. I said, good things happen when you pull out. For some reason, Jordan Travis is stuck on this. I have to be a pocket passer in order to get drafted, which is kind of true. But nobody's really drafting average quarterbacks either. So you got to win. Win will help you. The threat of pulling out helps the offense move, which helps the running game. It's some things that we're just not correlating right now with Florida State. And I don't know. I don't know how to shake this. I don't know how to explain it. And that's why, while I want to be frustrated, I'm not overly frustrated because I'm looking at this season as a whole. So if Florida State makes the goal of going 8-4, right? The goal that I set out and said that they have the potential to be, or 8 wins. Let me rephrase that. Because they can win 8-5 and I'm cool. And I look at the 5 losses. And I look at the 3 losses were to 3 teams that were really, really good and trending. We outgained them. We just didn't play 4 full quarters, or we had Florida State had a 2-minute time span 2 minutes of gameplay that absolutely just derailed them and killed them and crushed them. And if you can change that and you get them playing at a more high level, more consistent, I would be okay. On top of that, you add to the fact that they played the number 4 ranked team in the nation, and whether you believe that or not, it doesn't matter. They are. You are what your record indicates. But the fact that you're doing this without a Fabian Lovett, you're doing this down a ton of offensive linemen, you're doing this with the team that you have, kind of gives you some hope moving forward. It doesn't, but hear me out. I want, before y'all don't come out and say, James, no, judge accordingly. I believe you should. It's called accountability. But I'm also looking at this whole season from top to bottom. It's not that I knew this 3-game stretch was going to be rough, but it still should make you sick, because no matter how you feel about it, we should have won those games. You should have beat Wake Forest. Now, out of all of them, Wake Forest is the only one that probably, I will say, truly did enough to beat us. But you don't blank a offense for an entire half and not be able to come back and put yourself in a position to win. We had positions to win that game. NC State, we were winning that game. It should have never come down. Nobody should beat you by kicking that many goddamn field goals, especially when you have a quarterback that can't throw the ball. You did all the hard work. You did what every defense should want to go into a game doing. You knocked the starting quarterback out, and you put in a black quarterback that's only talent was his legs. And then against Clemson, DJ Ukulele couldn't beat you with the arm. The only way they were able to beat you was a big play in the special teams department, your turnovers, and Will Shipley did have some times where he did just make an extra play, and I think that's his name, the white boy, the Pilgrim from Clemson. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It was just good. We still got to clean up this tackling, though. But overall, it stinks, because what do you say to that? Everybody's like, yo, he's got to be fired, right? He's got to be fired, right? What do I say to a coach that it was really, really bad, but like you're in a situation to win every game?
Right.
Like, I don't want the moral victories either. But like, I can't say that he should have won that. You gave up 2 sacks, which is, everybody's like Alex Atkins in his offense, and like gave up 2 sacks, man. The offensive line is playing back. Like, it's crazy, like, to really, really think about it, because you've lost 3 in a row to 3 really good teams. But it's like before it was everybody saying it just looks better. But now I can tangibly put statistics out in front of you to show you that this is better than what it has been. But it needs to be better. Like, you know, it's like, it doesn't matter how nice of a guy, it almost doesn't count. But like, you gotta, but this is where you have to eventually, hell, we had 3 sacks. We had more sacks than their vaunted defense. But this is where you have to like turn these almostes into wins. This is why you have to recruit high school guys, and you can't just live and die in the transfer portal if you believe in culture, because culture is developed over time. Bobby had a culture. I was birthed into a culture, and those who were in the culture held the accountability. That's why a lot of the times when y'all been yelling at me, as a former player, you should do. No, bitch. As a former player, I should say what the fuck I want to, just like what the former players used to do when I was playing. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so, like, shit. And I still talk to these guys. I like these guys because of that now. I ain't necessarily like it when I was going through it, but I damn sure like them, especially the guys who continue to come back and do things like that. So, you know, they just have to get better. And there's nothing else to it. I don't give a fuck if you like them or not. One of the things that most successful people have to eventually come through, and my mentality is too, I promise you, I don't give a fuck if you like me or not. I would like you to like me, but it's not like important to me. What's important to me is being great at what I do. And you got to have success. You have to have things to show up. So right now, the only thing that's important to Mike right now is winning. That's the only thing that can be important to him. Because if you don't win, then they got to find somebody else too. But what I want people to start doing is start looking at who do you think fits where we're at right now. I'm willing to, if they pull out the 8, I'm willing to say, hey, Mike, let's give it another season, but it can't look like all this shit right here can't look the same. we gotta kind of turn that. We gotta get to that next step. So that's kind of what I was doing with at Florida State. Because what I don't want, and this is our thing with Florida State, we've only had, was it 4? I've only seen 4 coaches in my lifetime, and 3 of them are all like just feel like they're back to back to back between Jimbo, Tag, and now Mike Norvell. But what we don't want to do is be in a situation where you fire a coach early to only have to fire the next few coaches early. So let's think about where we've been in relation to our rivals. The University of Florida. They keep firing guys. Keep firing guys. Keep having to rehire guys. Muschamp was it. Excuse me. Yeah. After Urban Meyer left, Champ was going to be that guy. Then you had Butters. Was it? It's not McElwain. What's Butters' real name? Yeah, McElwain. Then you had the guy who just left, and now you have G5 Billy that's there now, and Florida fans hate him now, even though he's doing everything that they said that they wouldn't do. Like, he's recruiting actually at a really, really high level, University of Florida, but he's running out of things to sell. You had a quarterback that everybody thought was a top 10 pick in this upcoming draft. You had a defense. You had a lot of these different things. In fact, Florida, and then when they beat Utah, Florida fans were like incredulous, man, because you beat Utah, which you shouldn't have won. And Miles, you got that the clip. Then when we beat LSU, all everybody told us was, "Oh, it's just LSU. It's just LSU." Yeah, that one. But LSU just beat y'all, and we beat LSU. So again, we're all in a situation of rebuilding. But like, I won't lie. Jaden Daniels is like a cheat code right now. Ever since that game he played with us, this kid is coming on strong, man. You account for 6 touchdowns, 350 yards passing, 44 yards rushing, three rushing touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns. Holy crap. That is a hell of a performance. And I actually like Florida's defense, man. It's wild, man. That's a ton of points. When you look at where, you fired a guy that you felt was average or putting you behind to be in the same exact spot and like not really look like you have anything coming up in this class. Only thing you can pray for is maybe that some of these recruits that are coming in will be ready to go. But I do remember my boy telling me that as much as people picked on Jim McElwain, they were winning with Jim McElwain guys. And when Jim McElwain guys leave, you're going to see what Florida truly is. And it's kind of rearing its head right now. You are seeing the fruits, and they actually had pretty good classes that they were year in and year out. But it's just this product isn't great. But just to put it into perspective, and I want to shout out Florida Gators recruiting tracker for this. Florida is ranked. This is not when Florida fans say, when Florida State fans say our defense sucks, we're the worst, there's nothing tangible you can say besides your emotion. When the Florida fan says that, they actually have something tangible that they can actually say because there's rankings. Florida is 106 in total defense. So they're one of the worst defenses in college football. They're 93rd in kick return defense. So that means they're one of the worst against special teams. They're ranked 80th in sacks, meaning that they don't get to the quarterback very often. They're 69th in tackles for loss. They're 87th in pass defense, meaning that their corners and safeties aren't any good. They're 111th in rushing defense. They're 121st in first down defense. 131st, meaning they're the last in college football. In third down defense. They're 53rd in red zone defense. The fact that this team is 4-3 is a miracle. So again, it's two sides of a similar coin. Now, you've got all of these stats right here that are all true, but you got a team that's 4-3, and now you have a team in Florida State where all of their stats are true too, but they're the same record. That's why you got to it's just some things that you just got to the perspective comes in the numbers. So we'll get it, but that's what the University of Florida is right now, and it's wild because there was so much higher, even with the first year coach, there was a little bit higher expectations that came with that. And again, there's nothing overly wrong. It's just kind of is what it is. And they lost to a unranked LSU team. And then you got stuff like this. And this is what I really, I hate these things when it happens like this. Now, what's wild is this player is the grandson of, if I remember correctly, the grandson of the University of Florida's first African-American player. He's a walk-on right now, so it doesn't, like, people kind of made a bigger deal of it than what it is, but you don't want guys going in social media and doing dumb shit, like flicking people off, saying fuck this team and all this shit. If you don't want to be there, dog, don't be there. Like, there's other people that want to be there. Just to go into it more, Williams for LSU, 106 yards on 14 carries. Keyshawn Butte, whatever his name is, that didn't do anything against Florida State, went off for 115 yards. They only got to the quarterback one time, LSU. So, I mean, I think Anthony just had an okay game. 15 for 25, 185 yards, passing, 1 touchdown. Rushing, he was over 100 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. I think that's kind of messing things up, but did Florida got one sack as well. Brian Cox Jr. Gervin Dexter had a good game for all things being equal. 4 solo tackles, 8 total tackles. I mean, it's kind of just is what it is at this point with the University of Florida. But just to kind of stay in college football for one more thing, shout out to Tennessee beating Alabama. They went out there, did what they needed to do, and pulled out a winner. But now going to, again, Groundhog Day, third team. Losing on the last second play, corner, bad position, all these different things. But before the weekend even started, Jag fans complained. And I want to know what the complaints are. Like, what do people think billionaires do? Like, if you listen to my show, I tell you very candidly, like, billionaires want to own. That's their nature. Like, what's the next challenge? You have so much money, you're gonna have to pay tax, you're gonna have to do this, you're gonna have to do that. If you can own your own city, why not? So, but I think people don't understand how capitalism works. So in Jacksonville, Jack's Beach is that's more Neptune Beach, I believe, Atlantic Beach. There's some iconic landmarks, places that you hear when you first get here. One of the things I heard about was the Lemon Bar. Lemon Bar is a bar that actually at one point was only seasonal. And it's on prime real estate. On good real estate, Jack's Beach, that's where things go. The Seahorse Inn, which I've stayed at before, it's an old motel that just has good stuff and just some other properties. He's going to build a boutique hotel, restaurant, and some other stuff. And the comments are crushing the Jaguars owner. I asked a simple question. And I had a friend, Jay Phelan, who was like, I didn't realize this is what he was talking about. But somebody had to sell it to him. And then they were like, well, he probably offered them more than they would ever. Yeah. But that person who got the money, guess what they didn't do? They didn't give a fuck about the historic and iconic shit in Jacksonville. They cared about the money. Capitalism is capitalism. Blame the person who sold it to him as much as you blame Shah Khan. Or, here's the thing, make it so valuable that the local business doesn't have to sell. Support it. Everything went down during COVID. Everything was going down and all these different times. When I first moved here, we were in a recession. All these different things have happened, people. You know how local businesses need support. Don't get mad when a local business isn't getting support and then somebody offers a local business owner an opportunity to get out and participate in the capitalistic system in which they want it. I'm not here to tell you if it's right or if it's wrong. I'm just here to tell you this is what we're in, guys. So you either play the game or you don't play the game. But crying about it ain't going to change it. The same thing when everybody thought the Lot J is turned down. This motherfucker's going to get everything that he asked for, and it's going to cost the taxpayers more money in the end of the day, especially with Tennessee now getting a new stadium. $2 billion. So guess what he's going to come asking for when it's all said and done? And they're just getting goddamn stadium renovations. He wanted that and to renovate and revitalize downtown. Well, really where the stadium is, because the stadium is away from downtown. The one thing the NFL and NFL owners have figured out is the waiting game. Remember how mad y'all were? Players were kneeling? I'm going to boycott the NFL because players are kneeling on both sides of it. I was like, holy shit. And everybody boycotting, who's going to watch? For it to only be more viewed, to only make more money in streaming services now, for it to be more profitable than it's ever been. If you don't want this shit to happen, you don't want him to change the city, support. You don't want those landmarks to go away, support those landmarks. It's really simple. I don't really know why people make it more complicated than what it is, but
y'all just hate him because he ain't him.
Right. Now, I will say this. I do hate this guy, but it's not necessarily because I ain't him. And it's like so quarterbacks are supposed to get hit, right? And they throw flags when quarterbacks getting hit. Well, DBs are getting thrown at, and objects and stuff are coming at them at all times. I would think that they would never be scared of a ball. Everybody got mad at me when we signed this guy because I wasn't sure which one it was. But right now, I'm not sure which one I'd rather have more. I'd rather have the brother with one hand. Because the brother with two hands doesn't do this two-hand thing very well. For $40 million, the most impressive thing that he has done since he's been in Jacksonville is date with Tokyo Jets, who's a rapper, a female rapper from Jacksonville. A lot of y'all probably never heard of her if you don't know about Jacksonville, but that's it. This man has been the target of it's wild. The defense is what's really fucking up the Jags right now. As I go into a more like Matt Ryan, who looked like he was one step away from retirement, came and shredded the Jags defense, top to bottom. They threw the ball. Play this clip so we can all see Tokyo Jet's boyfriend. That's what I'm gonna start referring to you guys who got celebrity women. Just ducks his head.
Right in the hands of Jelani.
Don't hit me.
Can't seem to get it into his body. Got a chance
play it
to
again.
bring it down.
Ends
up right in the
he could have
hands
batted
of
it
Jelani.
down.
He just
hand could have used his hand, play soccer. Like man just didn't do anything. And that's just the case of the Jags defense. A lot of didn't do a goddamn thing. It's wild. It's crazy when you think like, damn, this is these guys get paid real money to go out here and stink it up. And the Jags offense was killing it. For the first two quarters. Then they scored one touchdown, 2 field goals. The field goals just kept them in the game. And it's just like, damn, dog, when you really needed something, you could not get anything from this Jacksonville Jaguars defense. You can't blame this on Trevor Lawrence. 20 for 22, 165 yards and a touchdown. Yes, he was a little check down shotty, but it was a game, man. That's what you need.
Yeah.
Your running game was going well. Travis Etienne had 10 carries, 86 yards. Nobody expected Matt Ryan to throw the ball 58 times and be as accurate as he was against the Jacksonville Jaguars defense. The Indianapolis Colts also got to Trevor 4 times. They sacked him 4 times. To Saxonville's 0.
Right.
3 tackles for loss in total. Trying to think, is there anything that was sexy that happened? One, okay, you had 6 quarterback hits, so a lot of almost shit. No interceptions. It's just when you score 27 points in an NFL game, you should walk away victorious. Matt Ryan, 42 for 58, 389 yards, 3 touchdowns, no sacks, was crushing it.
No sacks.
Pittman Jr. Dad was a running back. 13 catches, 134 yards. He was targeted 16. Somebody should stop. Somebody should guard that guy. Deion Jackson, 10 catches, 79 yards. That means every time he was targeted, he caught it. Paris Campbell, 7 catches, 57 yards, 1 touchdown, 11 targets. You gotta, at some point, take some pride. It's gotta be, you gotta have pride at some point. The Jags just got straight up mudded.
The most sacked quarterback in the league.
And what's funny is, and I don't even know if you can find this quick enough, Miles. I should have sent this back in here, man. What's funny is Trayvon Walker.
Yeah.
In his stat, in his comment right before the game, and the confidence that he had. But you know who's every time Trayvon Walker has got a penalty this season, you know what's come with it? A touchdown. A touchdown's come with it. Right now, if the season were over, your Jacksonville Jaguars would be in a very comfortable place. We'd be drafting 9 overall. As I've said before, that doesn't mean the season's over. So I'm just putting things in perspective. You keep getting first round picks. You can't just keep top 10 picks and you keep losing. Like, we should start trading these spots, like, to people who are better stewards of resources.
It's working for the Jets now. Fine.
Like, it is harder to win a Super Bowl than to be as bad as they are. But Trayvon Walker, penalties, and you just got touchdowns coming after it. Travis Etienne, though, is good. I wish he would have scored on that long run he broke. But I talked about this on First Coast News, and it comes to the same thing with Florida State, Mandarin Mustangs, Jacksonville Jaguars. When you have your opportunities to score, when you have your opportunities to do damage, you really, really have to take advantage of it. You've really got to go out there and you got to start putting fear in cats that doesn't require you just talking. Now, the one guy who did score a big run, none of us needed it.
Yeah, nothing on fantasy.
Nothing hurts. Nothing hurts more than your fantasy football team to see a large black guy running very, very fast to realize that it's not the large black guy that you own.
Yeah.
That stunk.
All right.
You lost it. Oh, it's all good. We'll get to the highlights later, but it was hurtful to watch the Jags do that. But there's always next week. You don't want to lose your in-season games though. So again, I talked about it. Again, guys think that they won a victory. I saw somebody post. Wait till we got to get rid of this this mayor so that we can have negotiations with the next person. And the person who's probably going to win the mayor next time is going to be is a real good business guy. That's probably the good at negotiation. Here's the run right here, and he's skedaddling, but skedaddling for no purpose. Let's see the Nashville deal. And this is wild. Nashville and the Titans reached deal on new stadium. Estimated cost $2 billion, just the stadium. $500 million from the state, increase in city tax on hotel rooms, funding for the team from the team ownership, and a Metro bonds paid back with sales tax revenue. That sounds really familiar to Lockjack. I don't know about the state money, but we definitely know that there was a bond that was going to help pay back some of the stuff that was going to go through. You know what? At the end of the day, guys, you don't want to see what happens when an NFL team leaves your city. Now, Hate O'Clock brought to you by Green Acres Sporting Goods. Green Acres Sporting Goods is the go-to outdoor spot. Go up there, CZ and those guys. Tell them Big Game sent you. Get $100 off select 9mm. Get $100 off of the AR-15 special they got. And they're going to give you some bullets. They've already got reasonably priced weapons, but if you go in there, you tell them, or you can tell me, I'll make sure they know you're getting there. You're going to get treated very, very well, and they're not going to let you outspend or overspend your situation. They're going to make sure you get good stuff. Now, I agree. Fans be saying the wildest shit. Wildest shit. And I love my white people, man. I love my white people because even the ones that are kind of that are racist, because the logic kind of doesn't make sense. But like this guy says, people say there's a lack of African American coaches. It could be said about not enough white players. It's a double-edged sword. And this is what a fan from North Carolina says. Is that Spider 2Y Banana 88. And I agree with him. I 100% agree. I think across the nation, we need to see a surge of the more populous of races. Like it should be a direct reflection of the population in the United States on the football field for every university not named Florida State. But I'm only saying that because the Seminole, it's a little bit more tribal with this. Now, you got the Seminole Indians, right? That mixed with a lot of black. So we have an agreement with the Seminole Indians, and that's why I think we should recruit in the manner in which we recruit. But I think, we can make football great again if every other school would take this frame of logic. And I think you do need some more white players.
Gosh, how dumb can you be?
I want you to get some more. I need you to go find the whitest of white wide receivers. I need you to find the whitest of white. Look at what happened with Will Shipley at Clemson. Go find your Will Shipleys. DB, even forget what the NFL guy said on Friday's show about defensive back being so hard they don't even let white people do it anymore. I think that is extremely racist of those two white men to say that. I think y'all should go find them and line them up, preferably against us. I mean, it's kind of like one of those things where it's just like some people just you realize white coaches
are putting the black
recruit these black guys, right? I told somebody, man, nothing hurt. My favorite running back that I've ever coached was a guy by the name of Cole Mazza. Very white kid, awesome family, dope kid, really, really good running back. That a white coach said, I can't be the guy to come into the state of Florida and bring a white running back out. They'll laugh me out of my profession. So again, I just want people to realize that that's not black people didn't have a meeting and said we're going to block out all races from playing football. Like it's kind of like I don't know how it happens. It is what it is. But just fans saying the wildest shit. And even this one right here, as we get ready to move into homecoming season next weekend, I'll be hosting a party in the Railroad District. FAMU's homecoming, even though I went to Florida State. But the tweet was this. Y'all over 30 go into, and we'll get to that one. Yeah, y'all over 30 going to homecoming. Like, is that okay? Serious question. Y'all not too old. Then she goes on to say, I can understand if you're a student, but if you graduated college 5 years ago, like, that's a thing. And then some of y'all going to a variety of homecomings. What is the purpose? You're trying to bag a 23-year-old. And then, as often the case, when people are getting cooked, y'all cannot read. They always throw it off on you, right? Like you're not comprehending. So, as such, I like to go to, what the English definition is. We're gonna go homecoming. Homecoming is a tradition of welcoming back alumni. or other former members of an organization to celebrate the organization's existence. It's basically historical. So in order, like, it's not meant for students, current students. The whole purpose of homecoming is for old people to come back. If old people don't come back, then that means your university stinks and homecoming is not lit. It's an opportunity for people who are the past to come mingle with the present, and a lot of times you're bringing in the future. It's like a family reunion. It's like saying, why would you go to why we got to have a family gathering every year, or why do you go to multiple people's family gatherings when that's not your family? Like, you don't know Poetic Justice cousin Pete. 90% of y'all care about stuff way, way too much. It'd be so loud and wrong at the same fucking time. Like 5 years ago, like, yeah, you coming back, but like homecoming for a lot of people, you literally plan, it's your one time a year to go back. And a lot of times you're bringing your kids or you're bringing other family members with it to do more. I grew up in a city where homecomings were prevalent. That's part of the reason why I come back home to my hometown where I grew up at. Homecoming for high school is like, and then this is what tripped me out right here. What is the purpose? You trying to bag a 23-year-old? Well, technically, a 23-year-old would be old from the college, outside the college ranks. And it's a woman that wrote this, so it's always confusing when women write these things, because when damn near all of y'all have dated somebody older when you were at that age anyway.
Right.
So like, you don't get judgmental until you get of a certain age, and then you tell people, oh, that's grooming, because you know what grooming is, because you allowed yourself to be groomed at the same time.
She's just aging out of competition.
And what if I wanted to come and bag a 23-year-old, my old ass?
And
damn it, that's because I can.
exactly.
23-year-old. Like, it's just, that's the trippy part. Like we all don't like Ronald Isley with the 40-year-old, 40. Yes, that chick was good and not born when like 40. That used to be a grandma back a few years ago. But Ronald Isley, like, let us be. Nothing's bothering me more on Twitter more than you fucking women trying to police the way a man is supposed to be.
I guess I've seen it. It's manipulation. That's
right.
What it is. Because they're going to do the same thing when they get the
exact same thing. It's one of those things where hormones, the gods messed us up. Y'all lose interest in your 30s, and men are trying to get up there, and then in your 40s, you become hot bottom. It never pans out at the same exact time with men and women. But I'm just tired of women trying to police, and women and you fucking simps trying to police the way some of us alpha males decided that we want to be. I say alpha male, but you know what the fuck I mean. But my alpha male clinic moment is going to come with this right here. It comes to the point of, I don't have to prove anything. And when you go to Alpha Male Jack's Alpha Male Clinic, you don't have to prove anything. People just see. They see the results of who you are. They see the grind. And that's what we're trying to help you guys. Have an enhanced performance. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be better. There is something wrong with feeling like there's something wrong with you, and there isn't. We're just out here trying to become the best men that we could possibly be and not have to prove anything. And one of the things is, we're not proving anything to gatekeepers in 2023.
For real.
Nobody gatekeeps more than people at HBCUs. I have no idea why you do this. I have no idea if you even understand what's critical to your university's existence of operation. When I went to Florida State this past weekend, I saw a bunch of people who have Florida State paraphernalia on. I'm willing to bet a vast majority of them never went to Florida State. It's kind of how it works. Love it. When I'm in West Virginia or I go to the other state and I see somebody with Florida State shit on, you know what I'm probably thinking? That motherfucker ain't go to Florida State. But I'm not sitting here like, what you know about that? Why you got that on? Well, I am a Nike guy. I've got on, and I love dunks. Got on some dunks right now. Ben & Jerry's. I don't know when the last time I've eaten Ben & Jerry's, but I got on the chunky dunks, though. I will have a pair of the FAMU dunks. And the gatekeeping comes in with a lot of people like, why you wear this or why you wear that and you didn't go here? Well, partially because you want people like me buying this shit, because that puts money into your university's coffers because it is clear that HBCU alum don't support their HBCU in the manner in which they like to talk about. But I represent my city. So getting a pair of FAMU dunks with no FAMU degree is wild to me, is what Lisa Jackson prosed. And I just said, shit, I'm a wild ass boy then. Because I damn sure got me a pair of FAMU dunks. I'm going to get a pair of LeBron James as well. I am going to do what the fuck I want to do with my money because I am a grown ass man.
Right.
I'm a grown ass man with some bread.
Getting a pair of LeBrons is crazy if you never dunked a basketball.
That's the logic, right?
It's so stupid.
Why are you wearing tennis shoes if you ain't working out? If you're not working out, why are you getting FAMU dunks? Knowing good and well that 90% of everybody who goes to a HBCU has a favorite PWI sports team. And nobody gives you that exact same energy.
Right.
But what it really comes down to is who has the right and when is it okay and when is it not okay to represent an HBCU. Personally, I represent HBCUs 24/7, 365. Love them. Love the music. Miles got a chance to take my son to an HBCU game this past weekend. First thing he talked about is what most of the people talk about, the bands.
Yeah.
The bands are just amazing, just way different. It's just, I don't know how to describe it to you. It's just different. I love my marching chiefs, but and the marching chiefs got some seasoning. But it's a difference between seasoning at a good restaurant and seasoning when my Auntie Les cooks up. Auntie Les seasonings feels like, I know for a fact there's no measurements. It's just whenever the ancestor says that's enough. And that's kind of what happens with the band. You got to stop your thought process because you're not proving you're superior than anybody by having to gatekeep. All you're proving is that you're insecure about what it is, where everybody else is like, you know what? I want you to represent. Why wouldn't you want this? This is great. I want you to come experience this. You know why I do a ticket drive to every FSU homecoming? Because I want kids to see how great my university is. How much I love my university. That's what you should want. You should be like, yo, why don't you have a pair of FAMU dunks?
Exactly.
Why don't you have a FAMU t-shirt? When we took a kid to Wake Forest, when Trey went there, we went on one of his friends, Logan. I don't want to take, I like his people too. His people cool, but I'm not going to take my son's friends from him. That's his homie. Logan didn't have a Florida State shirt. We had to change that quick. Actually mad when I changed it because he corrected me. And, he had a Black History shirt on. I'm like, damn. I feel kind of bad right now. But I like the pro-black shit. But, we had to get him a Seminole shirt. So we got him a Seminole shirt. That's what you should be as a FAMU alum. You should be like, hey, you know what? You coming to homecoming. You ain't never been to what? Oh, we got to change that. We got to change that. Nah, dog, come on. It's not so where I do understand the gatekeeping, Black Greeks, I understand that. You had to do something special to get into that. Something extra than just going to the university. You can do that anywhere else. But like I'm saying, so if you're purple and gold, you'll never see me toss up the hooks because I didn't pledge Omega. My boys Crimson and Cream never pledged Kappa, never done these things. So I get those. But to a university that you kind of need people to pay money for, you should want more. Again, I'm not trying to really harp on this as much because I think the problem comes into you're expecting what white PWIs get, but you don't expect what PWIs get. And what I mean by that is you're expecting, the reason why Florida State is able to amass more money attracts money. A brand, Florida State is one of the most recognizable helmets. Now, 1980, FAMU had a more recognizable helmet, but that's a whole nother discussion. But they get money because everybody that just didn't go to Florida State is attracted to Florida State. It's a process where you actively want, they went to other places. We traveled well. When we left a mark. That comes with the brand recognition. That comes with the opportunities to get more money. That's why when Florida, like one of the arguments, and I'm gonna have all this stuff. I truly want to bring a classic to Jacksonville. And that classics are basically it's basically black college bowl games during the regular season. Because there's the playoffs and there's I want to bring a bowl game just for black colleges. 2 best records. I want them to play. Obviously, you have the Celebration Bowl. I think that's what it's called. Between the champion of the MEAC and the champion of the SWAC. But I'll take the second place teams. But it's a lot I gotta go into that. But what I mean by this is you want other people to come to the place. Like, so if we have it in Jacksonville, we want more than Miles. What was the game? Was a lot of people at that game?
Yeah, it was live.
It was okay. I'm glad
because
because
all black people, all black.
No, I mean, like if I looked in the stadium or if I looked at pictures of the stadium, did it look full?
The highest up seats are going to be empty.
Yeah, that's empty. But like the lower bowl, lower bowl is full. Okay, so cool. So you want a 50,000 strong showing into a 70,000 capacity stadium,
right?
But like they want the same money as Florida, Georgia. But what you don't realize is Florida, Georgia literally has to add bleachers to the stadium. People come to Jacksonville for Florida, Georgia, not even to go to the game, but to experience, you know what it's like? Homecoming. So imagine your school's homecoming, but on steroids. So that's kind of what you need. You want people to want to come to your university just to be able to experience it, but y'all gatekeep that shit so much that people be like, man, fuck it.
She just a high vibration food type chick.
Right. And you know what's going to happen if you eat the low vibration plate and you eat the high vibration plate? Death. Like I put Sebi died at 80 something. Like Dr. Sebi died like 82, 83. Long life. Gagi, my grandmother-in-law, is what, 94? 95?
She just keeps going. I don't even gotta keep track anymore.
All she eats is salt, sugar, and everything that is fried.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, the food was better back then. Bitch, she has been eating our bad food just like us. Like, so it ain't about the stuff from back in the day. Like, she's literally consumed. Like, if the food was so much better the minute that she's eating bad shit, she should die.
Right.
My point is that when you are it attracts.
Right.
And you don't have to tell people that you're it because you just attract it. And that's what we want with Alpha Male Jacks. We want to make sure that you don't ever have to say I'm it. It just shows. Because you look good, you feel good, and you fuck good. And those are all 3 things that help with it. So again, you want us, PWI guys, with disposable income to come and support your university so that you, what you already are proving, don't have to. See, when we come and we do it, it takes less of you. But I do always want to say this. If you are going to gatekeep, make sure you gatekeep with your wallet and you have the receipts, because then you ain't got to worry about it. Then you truly can dictate what other people can and what other people can't do. But when your university is emailing and text messaging guys for PWIs to come and help, that means you ain't doing your job. So do your job so that I can just ignore you anyway. And I'm going to be fresh as fuck with my FAMU dunk. So I'm going to wear the bitches as much as I can. And I'm going to take a picture at my mama's house of my Florida State degree. So when anybody tries to say, what's your degree say, bitch? Florida State University. but you know what? My dunks say brag different. So, and so does my wallet because I support FAMU athletics. But other than that, man, I appreciate you guys chopping it up with me, man. Tailgate was a success. Please make sure you go to if you want to support any of the foundation things that we got right now. Make sure you go to for MFTK Foundation, MFTK36 on Cash App, MFTK Foundation on Venmo, at MFTK Foundation at gmail.com if you want to support the different things that we're doing right now. We're trying to get money for Georgia Tech. And then November 12th, we're trying to flip birds. We're moving 1,000 birds here in Jacksonville. That's the goal. You know, this will be my 3rd annual turkey drive. So we're going to try to get everything up and going. Appreciate you guys chopping it up with me. We will see you guys Wednesday.